Good afternoon. We welcome the Department of Justice family led by Secretary Bernardo Guevara. Congratulations once again on your new position. It's the first hearing we're doing with you, Secretary. Were you here last year? No, not yet.
But in my capacity as senior deputy executive
Yes, but
secretary.
first time as SOJ.
Yes,
so
that
welcome,
is correct.
and we request the COMSEC to read into the record the presence of everyone here. This will be short kasi we have to go to session before 3 o'clock. I already know your budget. I've been handling your budget for 5 years.
Good afternoon. The Senate Committee on Finance would like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests, namely Secretary Bernardo I. Guevara, Undersecretary Emmeline Aglipay Villar, Undersecretary Deo L. Marco, Undersecretary Adrian Ferdinand Sugay, Assistant Secretary Adonis Sulit, Undersecretary Ronald M. De La Rosa, Assistant Secretary Mervin Ramon Buenafe, Commissioner Jaime H. Morente, Administrator Renato Di Bermejo, Deputy Administrator Robert Nomar Leretana, Director Dante A. Gueran, Deputy Director Vicente de Guzman, Government Corporate Counsel Elpidio J. Vega, Assistant Solicitor General Henry S. Angeles, Administrator Manuel Gico, Acting Chairperson Reynold S. Monsayak, Commissioner John A. Agbayani, Chief Public Attorney Persida V. Rueda Acosta, OIC Director Lailani Aspiras, Assistant Chief State Counsel Ruben Fondevilla. Thank you.
First time to see USEC M. Villar.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Yes, I mean as DOJ. Who's handling your district?
I'm a party list representative, so the second
yes.
nominee took over my seat
Correct.
in
It's
the
party
party
list.
list.
No, I thought
yes.
you were caretaker of a district of SecMar.
Yes, for the caretaker of Las Piñas, it is Congresswoman Eileen Buhain of Batangas.
Really?
Yes.
How is that? When a person, this is not part of your budget, I'm just curious. Kasi naulila yung distrito ni SecMark.
Well, I
Tapos,
wouldn't call it naulila.
Naulila
May
yung
vote.
sige, mali.
Yes.
No, but when he was assigned, you as party list rep took over. Yes, correct?
Yes, I was elected as a OIC of officer in charge or a caretaker of
So
the
you have
district.
to be elected as OIC
Not
of a
elected
district.
by the people, but at the House in the plenary.
The House has to elect.
Not
It's not an
official. It's not by viva voce or it's just by viva voce that there's a nomination and then
They just have to concur.
ayes or nays. Yes.
So when there's a vacancy on account of appointment or death or resignation, whichever reason, the representative, an incumbent representative of any district or party list can be appointed by the speaker, and there should be a concurrence of the House.
Well, yes, that has been the practice previously when there is a death or when there has been a resignation.
I see. So now it's Eileen.
Yes,
Eileen, I see.
yes.
And there was a congressman who died recently, so there will be again someone designated, no? A party
Yes.
list Kong also passed on.
Yes.
Pag party list, again appointed again. Caretaker.
It's not an appointment. There's a list of 5 nominees that's submitted by a party list when the party list signifies an intention to run for the party for election, and it is the nominee after the one who has resigned or who has passed away that takes over.
Okay. Tinagalan ko pa, sana a-adjourn ko na, dumating na ang kaibigan ko. Namimiss mo lang ako, kaya dumating ka, di ba? We recognize the presence of Senator Sonny Trillanes. I informed them that we cannot hold session and a hearing simultaneously. So you have exactly 42 minutes to ask questions because I have no questions to ask. Mahaba yun, ha?
I
Kay
promise
kaibigan ko
to
yan,
be
mabait yan
very
sa akin,
brief,
ha?
Madam Chairman. Well, anyway, ma'am, maraming salamat
Biro
for...
lang, baka mapiton ka, ha?
Hindi, ma'am. Sa inyo, hindi. Well, anyway, ma'am, okay na ako.
Actually, we just started, and they have not even started on the expenditure program. But I'll just request that the copies be given to us. I will no longer ask about the budget because they have less than 1%, no? 1/2 of 1% of the total budget. At saka delikadong magtagal tayo dito dahil hingi pa ng increase si Director Geran ng kanyang budget. Lalong tumatagal, lalong dumadaming naiisip nilang i-increase tayo. Kaya makikinig lang ako sa ating magiting na matapang na senador. At huwag niyong kakatakutan yan dahil mabait yan. Kung gusto niya maging mabait, kaya niya. Huwag lang niyo ginagalit. Kaya ako, umiiwas ako dyan. Hindi ko ginagalit yan. Okay, you have the floor.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyway, I also will not inquire about the budget per se that you have submitted. I believe ito yung sinubmit nyo. This is what you need. Although, nung last budget hearing, last year, I recommended, ma'am, na i-increase yung budget for witness protection. Na-increase ba natin ito ngayon, Secretary of Justice?
Good afternoon, Senator Trillanes. Let me just double check the amount proposed for the WPP this year. Senator Trillanes, may I turn over the floor to Assistant Secretary Adonis Sulit so that he may answer your question directly.
Thank you, sir. As regards the question of Senator Trillanes, under the NEP 2019 NEP, our witness protection program has 208 million. How much is the increase? Is there any increase? So for 2018 we have 236 million. For 2019 we have 208 million. It's a decrease.
Madam Chairman, well, for that matter, Secretary Guevara, can you explain the reduction of that? Oh, si Asik Sulit na, please.
The decrease pertains to the non-inclusion of the 30 million capital outlay given to us this year, and since it is non-recurring, it's not adopted for 2019. So basically, it's almost the same, or 2 million, or a little less than 3 million higher than our 2018 budget. If we will not include anymore the 30 million capital outlay, sir.
So, do you think that will suffice? Dahil on the ground, may mga complaints sila na kulang yung budget for witness protection. Kaya ganon.
Our budget has an increase for witness protection, has an increase in the MOOE to cover for additional witnesses. So, for our computation, our operations will not be prejudiced by the rate of our budget.
Yes.
If I may add to that, Senator Trillanes, I think the complaint is not so much on the inadequacy of the resources for the WPP as the matter of delay in the payment or in the release of certain funds to people covered by the WPP. We have tried our best to address that, and I think that our delay has been reduced substantially, and we are more or less current in the remittance or in the release of funds to cover our WPP program.
So you're happy with that, Mr. Secretary?
We'll try to be more current than that, and but there has been an improvement insofar as the delay is concerned, Senator.
Now, as regards the intelligence funds of or confidential funds of the NBI, last year also I recommended the increase of your confidential funds so that you can be more efficient in your operations. Nag-increase po ba ang confidential funds ninyo, Director Giran?
Good afternoon, sir. Senator Trillanes, sir. Bumaba po, sir, ng something like 42M. Bumaba po for 2009.
Okay, so
It's
you-
for- it's
in
for the
real
reason-
figures, in real figures.
42 millions.
So
Sorry,
from nung 2018, magkano po ang ano ninyo?
For 2018, that is something like 150M,
Mhm.
and it was reduced to 108 million po for 2019.
Yan ho yung nirecommend ninyo or binawasan?
We recommended, sir, more than that, but we were
Yan lang ang binigay sa
given
inyo.
108
Okay.
million. But
Madam, yeah.
we would ask Your Honor, sir, to retain, if not the previous.
Yeah.
um,
Okay, well, naintindihan natin yung pangangailangan. Ano. At the appropriate time, I would recommend to the chairman of the Finance Committee,
Thank you, sir.
Senator Ligarda, the appropriate increase. Baka hindi naman malaki masyado, ano, 42 million, but we will try to return something kasi yun nga dapat NBI. Yeah.
What is the 42 million for? Intel?
No.
What?
Yung confidential funds sila from
Confidential.
150 million ginawang 108.
Mm-mm.
So we're recommending na
To restore it to the previous
yes,
level?
to restore it at least.
Mm.
Then we'll just make the
We
appropriate.
accept the Trillanes amendment even before the plenary.
Salamat, ma'am.
Sabi ko
Salamat.
sa inyo, mabait yan pag dumarating dito. But do not use your NBI Confir Intel funds to do Intel work on senators, okay?
Hindi naman.
I'm not.
Are you tapping any of our phones?
Certainly not, ma'am.
Do you have wiretapping capabilities?
We don't have,
Who has the police? Oh, okay. ISAP. Of course we have. You know that.
Yes, ma'am. Now, doon naman sa... Salamat, ma'am. So, well, magpasalamat tayo kay Chairman Ligarda for that restoration. Anyway, kay Attorney Acosta, doon man po sa PAO, meron ho ba kayong reduction sa inyong budget?
Reduction?
Reduction.
Wala po. Nag-increase pa po dahil po dinagdagan po tayo ng
Pa-
items,
ng laws.
397 positions for this year.
Mhm.
So lumaki po ang
Okay.
ating net. Pero puro PS lang po.
So, ilang lawyers ho lahat ang dinagdag sa inyo?
397 for
Mhm.
this year. May bago pong NOSCA, another 357 to comply with Republic Act 9406.
Mhm.
Dapat po 1:1. One PAO lawyer in one organized sala.
Okay. So, at least makakahabol-habol na kayo sa workload. Mabawasan for that matter yung workload ng PAO.
Opo, pero ang fiscal po ay one court is to two prosecutors ang allowed. Kami po, one PAO, one court lang.
O, sige.
Kaya mas marami pa rin po ang items ng prosecutors.
Well, but at least for now.
At least po
happy tayo.
nakakahinga-hinga na
Okay.
po kami.
That's
Opo.
good, that's good. Regarding yung sa Bureau of Immigration, ma'am. Sir, yun ho bang overtime as promised na bigay na, na-restore na?
Your Honor, the President signed an administrative order granting the regular employees salary augmentation, but it will only be up to the end of this year. That is why Immigration would like to request for the inclusion of the special provision for salary augmentation for next year, Your Honor, because the long-term solution that we are looking at is the passing of the immigration bill. But up until now, it has not yet been filed in the Senate. In Congress, it's already due for second reading, Your Honor. So we would like to request for the inclusion of the provision for next year, Your Honor.
Yes.
That I think I'm the author of the immigration bill. It's been filed here. Hindi ka ba?
I stand corrected, ma'am.
Can we check the version? Remember last year, whenever you experience a problem every budget hearing, and then we know that the cure is the enactment of the Immigration Act. It's pending in the Justice Committee. After this, could you, with Sec Guevara, meet with Senator Gordon so that he could already pass that in his committee? Tagal na yun. Every year yun ang problema eh. Did they veto it?
Sir, in real numbers, mga magkano yun, sir? Yung, at least yung overtime pay lang for next year.
The Finance Management Division Chief, sir, is just computing, but we are collecting Express Lane Fund, which is the main source for the salary augmentation, and it is more than enough. Actually, the excess will be deposited to the general fund at the end of the year, Your Honor. I'll give you the figure.
So anong concern? Kung ang gusto kasi natin, sir, is at the end of the day, yung overtime ng mga immigration officers. So, kung meron na kayong collection, wala nang kailangan, sir?
It needs the special provision to be included in the proposed budget, Your Honor, so that the Office of the President will have a basis to issue the administrative
okay,
order.
only that special provision.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Madam Chairman, can I move that we make sure that special provision be included, authorizing the President to use the Express Lane Fund to augment the salaries of the...
Thank you for that, Senator Trillanes, for the information of the body, especially our new DOJ Secretary. For the past, how many years? 5 years? As Vice Chair of your Budget and Chair of the Finance Committee, I have been putting that as a special provision. And during the Aquino administration, it was not vetoed. Is that correct? Binito rin. Ay,
It started dun sa Aquino administration ang
doon ang pag-veto.
pagbawas ng kanilang
So I stand corrected. So the special provision, it was actually Senator Drilon. All of us here who were sitting many years ago, we wanted to give them that augmentation from the express lane allowance. But the previous administration and the present had always vetoed that provision. Therefore, your staff cannot enjoy the benefits and allowances that they used to enjoy. And you're correct, it would need the enactment of the law. Can you check if indeed the bill has been filed? It has been filed. What status? Nag-hearing na ba? Nag-hearing na? Oo. You can urge, malakas ka kay Senator Gordon, di ba? Hindi, joke lang. Palabiro lang ako dito ngayon. Hindi, joke lang. Okay. Commissioner Morente and Sec Guevara can please, after this, by 3 o'clock, join me on the floor, in the VIP gallery, with Yusek M. Let's urge Senator Gordon just one hearing, because it's a recurring problem. Until that's enacted, we'll always have this problem. Mm-mm. So the AO grants the special allowances.
Up to the end of this year only, ma'am.
And then next year, mag-AO na. Well,
We will need again the AO from the Office of the President.
but is the provision from the AO equivalent to what is collected in the special lane?
Actually, it's less than, ma'am. We were
Less,
asked
oh.
to submit a figure, and it was the one approved. But the provision states that the salary augmentation will be up to the approval of the immigration bill or the end of this year, whichever comes later.
So, yung special provision na sinasabi niyo, sir, for the inclusion of the inclusion in the budget will at least guarantee you that augmentation for next year, sir, for the whole year next year.
Yes, Your Honor, or until the bill is passed
Okay,
next
so,
year, sir.
well,
Thank-
at least for the time being na hindi natin, sir, ito maipasa, meron pa rin kayo hanggang next year, end of next year.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Sige,
sir.
I will now move to the Solgen. Where's the Solicitor General?
Good
Is he
afternoon
around?
po, Your Honor. I'm ASG Henry Angeles.
Yeah.
I was called yesterday that the Solgen is being asked to be on standby for a meeting with the OP.
Mhm.
So he asked me to attend, Your Honor.
Well, kung nandito siya, papa-increasean ko rin sana sila eh. Well, anyway, ano naman, ang sa akin, I'll just inform you that this afternoon I will be passing your survivorship bill.
That's welcome news, Your Honor. Thank you po.
Okay. So, we will pass it. And, well, ano naman, ma'am, just is a parting note, Secretary Guevara. Ang sa akin kasi, I believe the ultimate was this manifestation that we are on the road to being a developed country is the strength of our institutions, foremost of which is yung judiciary. Your department is very powerful. You can be, for that matter, you're the instrument of dispensing justice. Sadly, in the wrong hands, it can be used also as an instrument of injustice. And ang sa akin, yung persecution, sa akin kung may kaso talaga, walang problema doon. Pero wag natin gawan. Yung nangyari kay Senator De Lima, ano talaga yun? Whoever was behind it, talagang gagabaan na lang yun. Kung wala man legal justice, there still be poetic justice or divine justice. So, ang sa atin dito is, pag nakita nyong mali, wag. Even sa ASG, pag nakita nyong hindi tama yan, you will have to say no. Di ba? Mabigat yan. It takes a lot of moral courage to do that. But until we would be able to do so, ganito lang tayo. We will be forever a developing country na gagamitin instrumento. Pagpalit ng administrasyon, yung mga bata ni ganito, tatapong kung saan, tapos gagamiting instrumento. It's sad, but that's the way it is. And I hope, Secretary Guevara, you're in a position to start, di ba? Magandang panimula ninyo eh. And ano yan? Kayo yung magiging sandigan ng mga nasa ilalim sa inyo. They can start saying no. Kung yung sa taas, alam nila na protektado sila. And like all administrations, temporary lahat, di ba? Kaya long term. But kung nakita niyo yung nangyayari sa US ngayon, it's the institutions ang nag-iimbestiga sa presidente. Kahit na anong paramdam niya or influensya niya. No, they're standing pat. Kung ano yung tama, di yun lang. Di ba? So, sa akin pag ganun, talagang tinitindigan ko yan hanggang saan. Basta't nasa tama, sige na. Kaya ito yung ano natin. I hope in the remaining years of the Duterte administration, maging ehemplo ang DOJ. What's done is done. Yung nangyayari sa akin ngayon, I can be put away in prison or in detention without bail for a missing application form. Palagay ko in any definition of justice, talagang wala yon. But sige na, let me be the last casualty for that. Yung mga ordinaryong tao, I can imagine, mas mahirap yung pinagdadaanan. So, I hope you can give your word, Secretary Guevara, na the injustice stops with me. Okay? Ako na ang huling casualty. Sir?
Thank you, Senator Trillanes. I completely agree with you that the Department of Justice should not be a weapon to persecute political opponents. And since the time that I assumed office as Secretary of Justice, I have always made it a point for the department to observe the rule of law and to base all of its actions on the available evidence and nothing else. As to specific cases like the cases of Senator De Lima and yours, I'm sorry that I cannot make any comment on these matters because these are sub judice right now. The court has already taken cognizance of these cases, and it will be highly improper for me to make any comment on these cases. But we assure the Senator that the Department of Justice will live up to its name of being the administrator of justice to everyone. That's all that I can say.
Salamat, Secretary Guevara. Let me assure you also and the rest of the DOJ family na hindi po ako vindictive na tao. Kahit na dumating yung panahon na the circumstances will change, hindi po ako ganun. So, okay lang yan. It's fair game. Andito pala si Sir Bato. Sir.
Maybe by next year, when our terms have expired by July 1, 2019, it will be Senator Bato who will be sitting here and interpolating Secretary Guevara on his budget. Will you increase or will you decrease the NBI budget and the DOJ budget? Huh? Yes. Yusek Bato.
Sir, may kuwan ba kayo, sir, sa ano? Bucor? Nabawasan ba, sir, yung budget ninyo?
Your Honor, as is lang, Your Honor, may konting increase lang kami nire-request. Pero baka pwedeng meron kaming insertion sana kung matulungan mo kami, Your Honor. Dahil we actually, our prepared budget, ganito na yon pagdating sa DBM, nabawasan din sana kung may saksak.
In real figure, sir, mga ilan ba, sir, yung kailangan ninyo?
Totaling to 5 billion, Your Honor.
Ano yan, sir? For construction, sir, ng ano?
Yes, Your Honor. Construction of additional, ang malaki dito yung pina-insert namin last year kay Madam Chairman, yung good for 6 additional construction of additional 6 prison facilities. But nung lumabas sa GAA, Your Honor, is good for 1 lang. So sana gusto namin makontinue na makumpleto yung 6, additional 5. Kaya ito yung bulk ng aming insertion na nire-request, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, anyway, at the appropriate time, we'll be requesting for augmentation dahil sa inyo rin, sir, yung mga city jails, no?
No, Your Honor. I only maintain 7 prison facilities all over the Philippines. Yung city jails, provincial jails, hindi po kasama yun.
Hindi pa nasa centralized dun sa
Not-
dahil we have a bill that will centralize all the penal systems sa ating bansa, sir.
Hopefully, Your Honor.
Yes,
Hopefully.
sir.
For the information of Senator Trillanes, and I hope that Yusek Bato knows this, we increased by 300 million this year, capital outlay for additional bed capacity and rehabilitation to make it more humane so that our prisoners will live in humane conditions in different prison facilities all over the country. I hope you know your budget. I hope you're spending it. I hope that it's being implemented. But we support the suggestion, recommendation of Senator Trillanes to look into their budget and how else we can make our prisoners live in more humane conditions. But please spend your money given you.
With that, Madam Chairman, I would terminate my my interpellation. Thank you.
Really appreciate your presence, Senator Trillanes, and we take note of your concern for the NBI and the restoration of their CONFI and Intel budget to the amount previously requested. We also take note of your concern for the Bucor and the possible amendment you will make later on for either capital outlay, additional bed capacity. And we take note of all others you've mentioned. I thank you for your graciousness, kindness, and brevity of your brief but wizened interjections. So thank you very much. I'm sorry, we recognize the majority leader, Senator Subiri, who will not ask any question because we will have a session already.
Yes, I also have to come back and get you. Madam Chair, that's what I did yesterday. To Secretary Guevara, pleasant good afternoon. To
Good afternoon, Senator.
Yusek M. Good afternoon to our colleagues, as well as the men and women of the DOJ. One question lang, actually just a quick question because we support the President's anti-drug campaign. We support his public order and security campaign. However, alam naman po natin, and si future Senator De La Rosa is here with us, si Jen Bato. Alam niyo naman kung gaano kapuno na yung munting lupa. Is there a move to, di ba matagal nang usapin na ilipat yung munting lupa, National Bureau Penitentiary from Muntinlupa to outside of Muntinlupa to Camp Magsaysay or some other area? May move ba tayo na ganun, Secretary? Or
Your Honor, that move was scrapped by then Secretary Aguirre because of number 1, cost, Your Honor. Number 2 is it runs counter with our plans of regionalization, wherein the family of these inmates will be helping us in the rehabilitation programs of their inmates. So yung visitation nila mas accessible if they will be imprisoned in these facilities where mas malapit sa pamilya na, Your Honor. So ang move namin was to regionalize, pagdagdag ng mga facilities, prison facilities sa mga regions, Your Honor.
question, kasi meron pong plano si Senator Soto, our Senate President, and we support him on this kasi hati kami dito sa death penalty. For example, ako, I'm Vice Chairman of the Philippine National Red Cross. Nasa Red Cross movement po ako. Sa amin talaga, we value all forms of life. So, dito mukhang mahirapan po yung passage of the Death Penalty Act dito. But we are in favor, I would say almost 99% kami in favor, pag heinous crime, especially on drug traffickers, to isolate them in another facility na walang walang cell signal, walang yung accessibility ay medyo mahirap para hindi na sila makagawa ng kalukuhan sa loob ng kulungan. Alam mo naman, sinasabi nila basta may laptop lang or smartphone, they can still transact. What is your opinion on that? Particularly only on high-profile drug syndicates and prisoners. Jen.
I completely agree with you, Your Honor, because I'll just give you one example. Hindi lang yung sila mismo nagtatransact, kundi makontaminate nila yung ibang prisoners sa loob dahil per experience, marami pong mga nagsiserve ng sentence ngayon dyan sa ating mga facilities. Pagpasok nila, ang kaso nila ay murder or carnapping. But pagpasok nila doon, nasama sila sa mga drug lord, they found out the luxury of drug dealing, ay naglipat sila ng craft. Doon na sila naging drug lord. From carnapping king, naging drug lord. So, kung mahiwala ito, Your Honor, mas kukunti ang problema natin.
It's my report ko kay Senate President, at least dito in the part of the Bureau of Corrections and the DOJ, I don't think there will be much of a problem pag tinake up po namin yung Senate bill niya, proposing ito ng maximum penitentiary, lalo na for high-profile drug syndicates and their personalities, para ma-isolate talaga sila. Ang proposal nga, isang isla sa, ano daw si Governor Alvarez ng Palawan, doon sa north, meron daw doon mga isla na pwede daw natin ilagay doon para walang masyadong signal. Of course, ayaw naman natin masira yung kagandahan at turismo ng Palawan, pero sa dami nilang isla na isolated, I think it's a possibility. At least makatulong din yan para matakot din sila. Kasi yun nga pag tinatanong mo, hindi daw naman sila natatakot dahil makukulong lang daw naman sila. But if we put them in parang sa America, that's a federal penitentiary, it's like an Alcatraz. I think that will, it will be a very, deterrent. It will be a big deterrent for these people to consider going into this illegal and illicit business. So yun lang, ma'am, and we support them all the way. We move for the approval of their budget.
Thank you very much, Senator
At
Bates.
motion of the Majority Leader, we approve the budget of the Department of Justice and all agencies present here today. If ever we have questions and the pending discussions we had on the proposed new office of the NBI, because they are now working in a condemned building. We don't want to leave you in condemnation, right? I'm just kidding. So we will receive within the month your suggestions on the augmentation amendment of your budget. Make it our amendment. I hope that LBRMO will find the funds to be able to include that in your budget. So Secretary Guevara and the team, you can get back to work.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Okay, with 10 minutes,
One question.
we recognize Senator Nancy Binay.
Good afternoon, Senator Binay.
She's always nice. Be nice, okay? So,
Yes.
you have one question. Yes.
Guevara, I
Yes,
just have one question. Ito ay patungkol dun sa, may special task force ba tayo for OFWs that are victims of human trafficking?
Meron po tayong isang interagency council na talagang nag-handle ng human trafficking, yung pong tinatawag natin na IACAT, Interagency Council or Committee on Human Trafficking. At yun po ay pinangungunahan ng Department of Justice at isa po yun sa pinakamatitibay na haligi ng mga programs ng Department of Justice.
And we have sufficient funds for IACAT.
Si Undersecretary Emeline Villar po ang namumuno on behalf of the DOJ dito sa IACAT.
Thank you, Senator. Actually, Senator, there were certain NGOs, particularly that of the OPLE Policy Center, that have written certain senators, including Senator Binay, letter requesting for an increase in the budget of IACAT because there are certain matters that have not been addressed, such as assistance to victims that have not been properly addressed by our current budget, and we were hoping that this could be yes accommodated.
I think since this is a pet law of the chair, I think funding will not be a problem.
I've always supported the IACAT because I created it. In 1998, in my first term as senator, I filed the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act, which was enacted in 2001. It was an ineffective law, I realized, so I filed the expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act, where the DOJ helped me defend it on the floor. It was passed, I think, in 2011 or 2012. And so we want a strengthened IACAT headed by the DOJ and the DSWD, and to make sure that traffickers in the Philippines or even OFWs who are trafficked within the confines of our country, or trafficked with or without, whichever, in Africa or in Asia, are given all the legal help. And in fact, what we should do is not just help them when they're already in trouble, but to prevent trafficking. And there have been great accomplishments based on the new law. I think it would be good if Yusek Villar can give the committee and Senator Binay a copy of the accomplishments of the DOJ insofar as the new expanded law is concerned. Napaigting natin ang batas na lagyan ng ngipin nung napasa yung expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. We want to see, I've always said this, maybe this can be your amendment, an IEC